Good morning, everyone. In this lecture, we are going to discuss about some basics of power electronics, which is very much necessary to understand this subject, which is your power electronics. Okay. So, in this lecture, we will discuss about some basic semiconductor devices, which is very useful in our industry as well as our daily routine life. And we are using many semiconductor devices in our day-to-day life. So, in this lecture, we will discuss about some semiconductor devices and their characteristics and their applications. So, learning outcome and objective of this subject is that I'm expecting after this lecture that student will be able to understand the basics of power electronics, like what is power electronics, what are the semiconductor or power electronics devices which is used for your day-to-day life or your in industries, and what are their characteristics and what are their applications. So let's start with some definition of power electronics. So power electronics refers to means power plus electronics. So the power which is controlled by your electronic equipments, or you can say electronic devices, that is your power electronics. Means you are controlling your electrical power by using some semiconductor devices. So you know semiconductor devices is called your power electronic devices. So power electronics refers to control and conversion of electrical power by power semiconductor devices, wherein these devices operate as switches. So silicon controlled rectifiers we are using as SCRs led to the development of a new field of application. This is called your power electronics. So we most of in most of the applications we are using silicon controlled rectifiers, which is very useful. And after developing this silicon controlled rectifier, uh, uh, you know, power electronic field becoming a very wide uh, wide subject, and in many industries or day-to-day life, we are using power electronic devices or SCRs for controlling our electrical power. So, before SCRs, actually mercury arc were used as a rectifier, and rectifier is very important nowadays because, for example, if you want to charge your battery, okay, phone battery, and what are you doing? Battery is your battery is your you know DC, battery is charged from your DC. So in your charger, there is a rectifier circuit which is converting your AC supply to DC, and that DC is charging your battery. So there are a few more examples by which you can understand that what is the importance of power electronics nowadays. So before SCRs, mercury arc rectifiers were used for controlling electrical power, but such rectifier circuits were part of industrial electronics, and the scope for applications of mercury arc rectifiers was limited. So the application is spread to many fields such as drives, power supplies, aviations, electronic high frequency inverters, and power electronics. So this is the importance of power electronics, and you can see in a wide range we are using power electronics devices to fulfill our daily requirement, and in industry we are using the control to control the power. So this is all about your power electronics. Now power electronics relates to the control and flow of electrical energy. So, in simple words, you can say that electrical energy can be controlled, or can be controlled by your power electronic devices. So what is the meaning of controlling? We will discuss it later. That controlling means then you can you can control the speed of your machines. You can control your voltage, output voltage and current by using these devices. So control is done using electronic switches, capacitors, magnetics and control systems. So scope of power electronics, that this is the range of power electronics from milliwatt to gigawatt, means you can control the power from small to at higher level. So scope of power electronics from milliwatts to gigawatts. So power electronics is a growing field due to the improvement in switching technologies and the need for more and more efficient switching circuits. So there are a number of applications where you can use power electronic devices, and it is very efficient and it has very wide range from milliwatts to gigawatts. So power electronic devices is also improving, is also growing in the field of switching technologies. So switching technologies means that power electronic devices or components we are using as a switch. Okay, so it has a number of applications in switching field also, which is very useful. So you can see from this table and you can easily understand that what is the scope of power electronics. So power level from zero point 0.1 to 10 watt, from zero point 0.1 to 10 watt, the system which you are using, which is your battery operated equipments and flashes, strobes. So in this range, when the power level is from zero point 0.1 to 10, you are using your battery operated equipment, flashes and strobes. Next is your 10 to 100 watts. If the range of power is your 10 to 100 watt, then these power electronic devices can be used in satellite power systems and typical offline flyback supply. Next is your, actually flyback is your DC supply. Next is your 100 to 1 kilowatt. So in this range, you are using, computer power supply and blenders. If the power range is from 1 to 100 kilowatt, then you are using power electronic devices in hot tubs. If your power level is from 10 to 100 kilowatt, then you are using power electronic devices into electrical car, eddy current braking. And if your power level is from 100 kilowatt to 1 megawatt, then you are using this power electronic devices into buses and micros, switched mode electrical supplies, which is very important nowadays. Now, if your power range is your from 1 megawatt to 10 megawatt, then you can use this system into switched mode electrical supply. If your power level range from 10 megawatt to 100 megawatt, then you can use these power range in magnetic aircraft launch and big locomotives. If you are using power from 100 megawatt to 1 gigawatt, then the power electronic devices is used in power plants. And as you know that in power plants, for controlling your AC power, we are using PEX devices, which is made by your semiconductor devices. So this power electronics has very wide applications, and it is very important nowadays. This subject is very important, that what are the applications of power electronics. So you can see from this table that these are the applications of power electronics. So it is very important to understand or to have the knowledge about power electronic devices. Now, this is your that interdisciplinary nature of power electronics. So, power electronics can be used in various field, which is one is yours. You can see that this is your circuit theory, where mostly you use capacitor, inductors, diode in circuit theory for analysis any circuit. In systems and control theory, you can also use power electronics. In signal processing, you are using power electronic devices. In electronics, you are also using power electronic devices. In electromagnetics, you are using power electronic devices. In power systems, you are also using power electronic devices. In electrical machine, you are also using power electronic devices. In simulation and computing system, you are also using power electronic devices. And in solid state physics, you are also using power electronic devices, components, or equipments. So this is your interdisciplinary nature of power electronics. Now let's come to the applications. So what are the applications of power electronic devices? So this is the list of applications of power electronics where you can easily understand that most of them you are using in your day-to-day life, uh, which is controlled by your power electronics components or power electronic devices. For example, heating and lighting control. So heating and lighting control, you can also use your power electronic components. In induction heating, you are also using your power electronics component. Uninterruptible power supplies, in which is your UPS. So you are using UPS in your daily routine life, where the power supplies which is used, that is your UPS, which is made of your power electronic devices. Then this is your next is your fluorescent lamp, ballast, passive or active, electric power transmission lines, automotive electronic ignitions and motor drives, battery charges, alternators, energy storage, electric vehicle, using power electronic devices. Then your alternative power sources, solar, wind, and fuel cells. There are wide range of applications of your power electronic devices. Next is your task of power electronics devices. So this is a rectification referring to conversion of AC voltage to DC voltage. So AC voltage to DC, the power electronic devices is used for rectification, where you can convert from DC to AC conversion, DC to DC conversion, and AC to AC conversion. So this is the task of power electronics, where rectification referring to conversion of AC voltage to DC voltage. For example, in photovoltaic cell, that the sunlight is falling on the PV arrays, which is which is using as a solar controller, and solar controller which is converting it into from AC to DC. So here you are using power electronic devices. Now this DC is charging the battery. Now this DC is fed to your inverter, where DC current is converted into your AC voltage, and this AC voltage or AC buses is used in diesel generators or AC loads. So this is an example where you can see that in photovoltaic cell, we are also using power semiconductor devices. Now, next is your converters. So, electronic power converter is the term that is used to refer to a power electronic circuit that converts voltage and current from one form to another. So, there are converters which can convert from AC to DC, DC to AC also. So, uh, first we come to your rectification. So, what is rectification? Rectifier means that it is converting your AC voltage to DC voltage. And in inverter, this is converting your DC voltage to an AC voltage. Now, chopper or a switch mode power supply that converts a DC voltage to another DC voltage, cyclo converter and cyclo inverter converting your AC voltage to another AC voltage. Now let's start with your rectification or rectifier. So rectifier may be classified as uncontrolled and controlled rectifiers. So controlled rectifiers can be further divided into semi-controlled and fully controlled rectifiers. So first we have to understand that what is rectification. So rectification means to conversion from AC alternating current to direct current or AC to DC, which can be converted by the help of your diode and SCRs. So initially we used diode we used to use diode in for rectification, in which diode is a unidirectional device which convert only positive half wave to into your DC. But in if you want to use your full rectifier, then you have to use uh, two or more diode which is connected in anti-parallel. So rectification may be classified as uncontrolled and controlled rectifier. So controlled rectifiers can be further divided into semi-controlled and fully controlled rectifiers. And uncontrolled rectifier circuits are built with diodes and fully controlled rectifier circuits are built with SCRs. So both diodes and SCRs are used in semi-controlled rectifier circuit. Now we come to the rectification. Rectifiers means that single phase semi controlled bridge rectifier, single phase fully controlled bridge rectifier, three phase three pulse star connected rectifier, double three phase three pulse star connected rectifier, then three phase semi controlled bridge rectifier, three phase fully controlled bridge rectifier, and double three phase fully controlled bridge rectifier with IPT. So there are a wide range of rectifiers, and these rectifiers can be used for rectification purpose, which can be divided into many categories. One is your single phase semi controlled bridge rectifier, single phase fully controlled bridge rectifier, three phase three pulse star connected rectifier, double three phase three pulse star connected rectifier, and three phase semi controlled bridge rectifier. So there are many type of rectification by which you can get different type of your output. And there are few there are a small difference between these rectifiers. One is that the semiconductor devices or components which you are using is different in each rectifier, and the output voltage is also different which you are getting from these different rectifier. And one more difference is that one is your single phase and another one is your three phase. So in single phase only you are using one phase, and three phase you are using three phase. So these are your single phase and three phase rectifiers. Now DC to AC conversion. So what is your DC to AC conversion? The converter that changes a DC to AC is called an inverter. So earlier inverter were built with SCRs, since the circuitry required to turn the SCR off tends to be complex. So other power semiconductor devices such as bipolar junction transistors and power MOSFETs, insulated gate bipolar transistors, and MOSFET controlled thyristors are used nowadays. So currently only the inverters with a high power rating such as 500 kilowatt or higher. So DC to AC conversion. So this DC to AC conversion can be used, can be done by using different kind of components or different kind of power electronic devices. For example, your MOSFET, insulated gate bipolar transistor, MOS controlled thyristors, and different kind of components. So currently only the inverters with a high power rating such as 500 kilowatt or higher you are using. This is the higher rating of your inverter. So inverter you are using from DC to AC conversion. Now, inverters is used at your home in emergency lighting system when your power cut is occur, power cut occur, then your inverter comes into the conduction and you are getting electricity at your home. So this is very important thing which is must necessary for our day-to-day life. And so inverters are used in emergency lighting system, AC variable speed drives, uninterrupted power supplies, and frequency converters. So this is all about your DC to AC conversion. Now, DC to DC conversion. So when the SCR came into use, a DC to DC converter circuit was called a chopper. So chopper is basically used from DC to DC conversion from constant DC to variable DC. So nowadays an SCR is rarely used in a DC to DC converter. Either a power BJT or a power MOSFET is normally used in such a converter, and this converter is called a switch to mode power supply. So switch to mode power supply means DC to DC conversion. So DC to DC conversion can be done by using your a chopper circuit. So chopper circuit may be your step down chopper or step up chopper, flyback converter or resonant converter. So chopper is used as a AC transformer. For example, in AC transformer that you are using AC voltage as an input, and the voltage is converted at a step down or a step up by the help of transformer like this. In DC to DC conversion, you have to use chopper, and you have to replace the transformer by the chopper in DC to DC conversion. So by the help of DC chopper, you can step up or step down the DC voltage. So these are the four. This is called your switched mode power supplies, flyback converter, and resonant converter. So this is your DC to DC conversion, which means that fixed DC is converting into your variable DC. Now let's come to your AC to AC converter. So for example, cyclo converter converts AC voltage to variable AC voltage, and it can also change your amplitude as well as frequency or input AC voltage. So a cyclo converter or a cyclonic converter converts an AC voltage such as the main supply to another AC voltage. So the amplitude and the frequency of input voltage to a cycloconverter tends to be fixed values. So whereas both the amplitude and the frequency of output voltage of a cycloconverter tend to be variable. So the circuit that converts an AC voltage to another AC voltage at the same frequency is known as an AC chopper. So a typical application of a cycloconverter is to use it for controlling the speed of an AC traction motor, and most of these cycloconverters have a high power output. So of the order a few megawatts, and SCRs are used in these circuits. In contrast, low cost, low power cycloconverters for low power AC motors are also in use, and many of these circuits tends to use triacs in place of SCRs. So this is your AC to AC converter. Unlike an SCR which conducts in only one direction, so a triac is capable of conducting in either direction, and like an SCR, it is also a three-terminal device. It may be noted that the use of a cycloconverter is not as common as that of an inverter, and a cyclone inverter is rarely used. So applications of power electronics. So in a conventional car, power electronic applications are a major area of future expansion. So if we look inside the audio system, for example, the amplifier in today's car stereo are usually capable of delivering 40 watt or more, but a 12-volt supply applied to an 8-ohm speaker produces 18-watt output at best. So to solve this power supply problem, designers use a boost converter. So boost converter provide higher voltage as your input voltage as compared to your input voltage. So to solve this problem, designers use a boost converter to provide higher voltage power to the amplification of the circuit. So this allows car amplifiers to generate the same audio output power as home stereo. Automobiles ignition system. Another universal power electronics application is the automobile's ignition system. So thousands of volts are required to ignite the fuel air mixture inside a cylinder so that internal combustion can occur. Today's car employ all electronic ignition systems which have replaced the traditional spark plugs with boost converters coupled to transformers. Now, the next is your hybrid car. We are curious about new electric and hybrid car in which the primary electrical system is dominated by your power electronics. So, electrical cars offer high performance, zero tailpipe emission, and low cost, but are still limited in range by the need for batteries. So, main problem in a hybrid car is your battery because after few kilometers you have to charge the battery. So, hybrid car designs use various strategies to combine both an engine and electrical elements to gain advantages of each. Now, inverters and DC to DC converters rated for many kilowatt serve as primary energy control blocks. So, if you want to know more about your hybrid car, then you can go to this website and you can get the full knowledge of your hybrid cars, which is very popular nowadays, and more and more research are going on these hybrid car, and the main problem is battery for this hybrid car. So we are many researchers are working on uh, this problem. So if you want to know more about these hybrid car, you can go through this website and you can get the knowledge of hybrid car. Now let's come to the different elements which is used in power electronics. So one is your diode. So you can see from the diagram that it has two terminal and two layer device. In detail, we will discuss it in next lecture. So here we will only study about the overview of these semiconductor devices. So this is the symbol of diode, which is very important, and it is used for rectification. So it has two terminal. One is your anode, another one is your cathode, and it is made by a PN junction, and it has two layers. This is the characteristic of diode, in which you can see that in the first quadrant, on x-axis we are taking voltage, on y-axis we are taking current. So after few voltage, the current is increasing linearly almost. So, when there is a PN junction, there is a depletion layer. After breaking that depletion layer, the electrons and holes start to move and the current start to flow. This is your, reverse biasing characteristics. This is your avalanche breakdown. After a particular voltage, the layer will be breakdown and current will start to flow in your reverse direction. So this is all about your diode. Next is a Zener diode. So Zener diode, this is the symbol of Zener diode. It also has two terminals. One is your anode, another one is your cathode. And in Zener diode, the current is flowing through this direction, and this is your, constant current which is flowing in reverse direction, and this is your voltage, which is your breakdown voltage. So this is your Zener diode. Now, next is silicon controlled rectifier, which is very important. So, silicon controlled rectifier, as you can see in the diagram, that this is your four layer, three terminal and four layer device, and it has three terminal like anode, cathode, and gate. So, why this is called controlling device? Because if you are not applying any kind of gate current, it will not turn on. So by applying gate current, you can control this device. That's why this is called your silicon control. But in diode, you don't have any kind of gate terminal or any control circuit. So diode is your uncontrolled device, but silicon control rectifier is your controlled device, and it can be controlled by the gate terminal of this silicon control rectifier. So the basic purpose of the SCR is to function as a switch that can turn on or off small or large amounts of power. So it performs this function with no moving parts that wear out and no points that require replacing. So there can be a tremendous power gain in the SCR. In some units, a very small triggering current is able to switch several hundred amperes without exceeding its rated abilities. So the SCR can often replace much slower and larger mechanical switches. This is your motor control. So in motor control system, you can see that you are using your power electronic devices. Okay. So this is your DC motor controller, and it is your portable. Now, AC to DC conversion, this is your half wave rectifier. So in half wave rectifier, you can see that is your input terminal. Okay. And you are using one diode over here, uh, this is your load. So from input terminal, now what you are that is your input waveform, and this is your input waveform. And if you are using one diode, so you can only convert only half wave into DC voltage. Okay. So, if you want to convert your negative waveform into DC conversion, then you have to, mm, you know, then you have to use another diode for this complete conversion. So that's why this is called your half wave rectifier, because it is converting only half wave of your input voltage into the DC voltage. And this is your load current, and this is your voltage, output voltage. So this is called your AC to DC conversion because it has only one direction. That's why this is called your DC, and it is flowing in both the direction, positive and negative. That's why this is called your AC. Let's come to the full wave rectification. So as you know that diode is an uncontrolled device, and this is unidirectional. If you want to convert your positive half wave as well as your negative half wave, then you have to use your full wave rectifier. So in full wave rectifier, you are using two diodes, diode D1 and diode D2. So in diode D1, the half wave is converting, positive half wave is converting, because you can see when you apply positive half wave, then diode D1 will be in forward biasing and diode D2 will be in reverse biasing. So for positive half cycle, diode D1 will conduct. For next another half cycle, diode D2. So this is your full wave rectifier. Next is your, this is the device symbol, which is very important, and you must know about, you must have the knowledge of different symbols of electronic devices. So this is your diode, and you can see that this is the symbol of diode, and it has two terminals. One is your anode, another one is your cathode. This is your positive terminal, this is your negative terminal, and this is your thyristor. So thyristor is having three terminals. and one is your anode, another one is your cathode, third one is your gate. And gate turn off thyristor, it has three terminal. One is your anode, cathode, and gate, but it has the symbol like this. Next is a triac. Triac, you can see that two anti-parallel SCRs are connecting. So this is your triac symbol. It has three terminal. One is your gate, cathode, and anode. Next is your NPN BJT. BJT means bipolar junction transistor. So bipolar junction transistor also have three terminals. One is your base, collector, and emitter. Next is your IGBT. In IGBT, it also have three terminals. One is your gate, cathode, and gate terminal. Cathode terminal, and sorry, gate, collector, and emitter. Next is your MOSFET. MOSFET also have gate, drain, and source. So these are the symbol which is very important. By remembering these symbols, you can easily identify the semiconductor devices in any circuit. So this is the table which is very important, and you must have knowledge the different symbol of these semiconductor devices. Now, let's come to the different kind of circuits in which what you require. So suppose if we talk about voltage regulators, so for regulation a DC supply to a fixed voltage output, you require voltage regulators, power amplifiers if you want to amplify your voltage and current. So there are large signal amplification of voltage and current. Now let's come to the switches. So switches are your electronic switches, for example, transistor switches. If we talk about your diode rectifier, so diode rectifier which convert from AC voltage to DC voltage. Then if you talk about your AC to DC conversion, then in AC to DC conversion, you are converting fixed AC voltage to variable DC voltage. Then if you talk about your AC to AC converter, then converts fixed AC voltage to variable AC voltage. If you talk about your DC to DC converter, that is a chopper. So it converts fixed DC voltage to variable DC voltage. If you talk about your DC to AC converter, that is your inverter. So it converts fixed DC voltage to variable AC voltage. Next is your AC to DC converter circuit and waveforms. So you can see from the diagram that it is converting from AC to DC. You are using thyristor, and you can see that the output waveform is controlling by alpha angle. So by using thyristor, you can easily control the output of your AC supply. So that's why this is called your AC to DC converter, and SCR is your controlling device. Now let's talk about your AC to AC converter in which you are using triac. So you are in your input is AC, your output is also AC. So by using AC to AC converter, you can easily get the output which is your AC output, but it is controlled, and you can see in the diagram that it can be controlled by the angle of alpha. Now let's come to the next circuit, that is your DC to DC conversion in which you are using thyristor, sorry, BJT, bipolar junction transistor. By using this, you can easily get the DC output. So the output voltage is this is your input voltage, and this is your output voltage. So you can see that you are getting your output voltage. Now you are also getting DC, but it is variable DC. Rectifier connected to an inductive load. So operation of a freewheeling diode inductive load, in which you can see that if you are using inductive load, then you will get the waveform like this. Okay. In detail, we will discuss in our next lecture. Next, this is your three-phase diode bridge rectifier, and three-phase, you can see you are using three-phase, which is your A, B, and C, and you are using, instead of one or two diode, you are using uh, six diodes, and you are getting three-phase DC output. So this is your three-phase diode bridge rectifier. Next is your half wave controlled rectifier waveform. So you can see in the diagram that this is your half wave controlled rectifier waveform. So by using this circuit, you are controlling only half wave of the input signal. Next is your DC motor. So in DC motor, you can see that the speed of DC motor can be controlled by your step down chopper. So in detail, we will discuss in our next lectures. This is the an overview about your semiconductor devices, that in which field we can use your semiconductor devices. So there are some few questions which is based on this lecture. For example, a crystal diode has, so it has your 1 p.m. junction. A great crystal diode forward resistance of the order of is in kilo ohms. If the arrow of crystal diode symbol is positive with respect to bar, then the diode is in forward biasing. A crystal diode is used as a rectifier, and the reverse current in a diode is of the order of microamperes, because diode do not conduct into the reverse direction. If you connect this diode in reverse direction, means its anode is negative and cathode is positive, then there will be flow of a current uh, which is in your in microamperes. Next is the forward voltage drop across a silicon diode is about, that is almost zero point 0.7 volt. So the duration of the pulse in a pulse triggering system for SCR should be at least minimum triggering pulse for the SCR must be 20 microsecond. For thyristor, pulse triggering is preferred over DC triggering because the gate dissipation is low. So this is all about your you know basics of power electronics. So now I want to summarize this lecture that power electronics is very important nowadays. Without power electronic devices, it would be very difficult to survive, because in day-to-day life we are using many semiconductor components or devices which is must needed for our day-to-day life. For example, your phone charger, your fan regulators which can control your speed of your fan, in which you are using triac or diac. So these are very important components or devices which is used for you know uh, your controlling your AC or DC power. So in many field you can see that there are a number of applications of electronic devices. So already we have done about the applications, and already we have done about the applications and other things. So this is all about your basics of electronic devices. Thank you.